Good morning, listeners. Everyone's having a great day. This is Zach on B to Z Podcast, and I'm here with Brandon May.
Hello, everybody.
And a very special guest, Ronnie B.
What's up?
I do want to, because you said everybody messes up your last name. I do.
Yeah.
Please tell us your last name so I don't mess it up.
Yeah, it's Baroshik. It's Czechoslovakian, a white boy name.
Yeah.
Nobody can pronounce. So I get stuck with Ronnie B.
Yeah, Ronnie's one of my homeboys. We tattoo together at events. I've been tattooing with Ronnie and known him for about, 6 years maybe or something like that now?
I feel like Brandon Heat, man, it feels like 6 years, bro. I think it's been like 2.
Yeah.
Like realistically.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll go with 6.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He tattoos. He's always got something interesting to say, so that's why we brought him on today. He's not somebody who really does the small talk, but he does save his words for to use them with a purpose. Ronnie's been tattooing for how many years?
12 now.
12 years?
Yeah, I just kind of like, when I started coming over here and tattooing a little bit, and me and you was talking about how long we've been in the game, and I started counting the years, and I was like, it's 12 now. You know? It's like, man.
One of the things about Ronnie that's a cool thing, and which is really hard to do, is he's self-taught. Ronnie is self-taught tattooing, and he actually made it. There's very far and few in between tattoo artists that have been self-taught who really still continue to do the craft and uphold high standards that he holds. So that's a cool thing.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I guess my first question would be, do you feel like not apprenticing or teaching yourself has hurt you in any way in tattooing? And how did you get your start if nobody gave you a torch?
That's a great question, man. Being self-taught, it hindered me, and I think it took me twice as long to learn the same thing, as it would with like a mentor. So it really slowed me down. It made me I had to be twice as driven to go get information, because back then, like I said, about 12 years ago, they had forums and stuff. So I would go search the forums, and I'd have my notepad, you know what I'm saying? And I would have to decipher all the BS info, because remember, they try to mislead you. You'd be like, hey, how far do I hang my needle out?
Yeah.
And dude would be like 2 inches.
Right.
And put it right in your nutsack. You know what I'm saying? They just give you a jacked up answer, like trying to. So I had to decipher through all that stuff. Yeah. So I had to have tunnel vision to make it happen. I did a lot of things wrong, but yeah, slowly but surely, you research it enough, you're obsessed with it. That's what it was. It was an obsession. Mm-hmm. Like,
have you always been an artist? Like, did you grow up as an artist, or were you influenced, then you got into it to be a tattooer?
Yeah, man, I've always been an artist. Mm-hmm. Like, I started off as a kid drawing cartoons and stuff, man. Like Bart Simpson, all that stuff. And then I got into superheroes, Batman, Spider-Man, drawing all the villains and stuff like that. So, yeah, like, I've been in drawing my whole life. My neighbors did it when I was growing up in my neighborhood. The neighbors drew, and they were good, man. They drew comic book characters. They were amazing. Mm-hmm. And Chris and Adrian, man, they used to bring me over. I was younger. They didn't have to kick it with me, but they let me come in anyway. And they saw I had a little bit of artistic talent, I guess. So they let me kick it with them, and they showed me how to do stuff. And it just took off from there. I started getting obsessed with it, and people start complimenting you, your friends and people at school. So I think people start speaking it into my life after a while. They're like, you're gonna be an artist, or you're gonna do something with art. Right. And I think it stuck too, and then it works in my personality too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was meant to be an artist, bro.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite tattoo artist now?
Corey Miller.
Corey Miller?
Yeah. I just, dude, the reason I say that is because of not only his style, but like just the man he is. You go to conventions and stuff, and like anyone who knows him or doesn't know him. I mean, I walked right up to him. He was sitting there by himself. It was in the beginning of a convention, and dude talked to me like he knew me for 10 years, man.
That's dope.
Just cool, you know. And he's like, he always gets back to people on his posts, you know, on Instagram. You know, he tells people thank you, you know. He's just a humble guy. And I remember watching him on LA Inc., dude. You remember that show?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'd be watching him and I'd just be like mesmerized by this dude's like tones and like how soft he would get stuff. And then he was just a laid back dude. He wasn't a diva. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't try to get all that attention and like, yeah. But yeah, Corey Miller, man.
That's
for
cool.
sure.
I like Corey Miller a lot too. I like how he draws everything on. He draws most of his tattoos on,
thuggy, bro.
and they are solid. He's got a very cultured, tattoo-rich culture style as well, like kind of like lowbrow style culture. The tiki era, the rockabilly era,
Yeah,
like
he was
that
in a
shit
band
is
too,
tight.
right? He's a drummer.
Yeah, is
Some
he?
band, yeah,
I know
yeah.
he's tattooing dude from Metallica. You know, he just like
saw
he
that
running
post.
around with him.
I saw that post, yeah.
Which is tight, you know. Have you ever tattooed anybody famous or anything like that?
No, man.
Yeah.
Not that I could think of. No, I mean, not that everybody would know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might get people that are locally famous.
You
but
probably offended somebody right now.
Yeah,
who's
for
like,
sure.
What?
The one dude I
Like,
forgot.
I'm famous?
The one dude I forgot. The one girl I forgot. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry about that.
It's like, I just dropped the album last week. What you mean?
Hey.
I want to kind of circle back. What made you want to do everything the hard way and not the traditional way, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, man. You know, like, back then, like, it wasn't that easy. If you didn't have a friend or a family member that was in it, you had no way in, and I had no way in. So I would go around to tattoo shops. Like, I remember I went over to a zombie tattoo over in Norco with my portfolio, man. I was nervous, bro. I don't know these cats. They're a bunch of cholo-looking dudes at the time, you know, and I was like, and they were all family.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they were related to each other. So I walk in there in my portfolio, and I showed homie the main dude who owned it. You know, he's flipping through my stuff, and he's like, "You're not that good, fool." And I was like, "I know." That's why I'm coming, like, to try to pursue, you know, like a career in art, like, you know, to be a tattoo artist, you know. And he didn't really give me the time of day. And I think that was my first experience with what the industry really was and how protected it was. It wasn't like you could just walk up in there and, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, looking back at that, man, like, I can't help but smile thinking about that situation, you know, just ignorant, just not knowing. And so I went around to a couple other shops, you know, I got some better feedback, but to be honest with you, like, I didn't have the time. In my mind, it was time to go. You know what I mean? Like, I already knew more than they thought I knew at that point. Like, I had already been researching, I already been looking into it. I would have hit the ground running if I would have been in one of those shops, but I just didn't get offered. So I was like, you know, we're gonna do this, right? Like, here we go.
Got in the fourth.
Yeah, I got a lot of, you know, at the time, stupid friends, you know what I'm saying, that were all about it. Hey, Ronnie's been drawing his whole life. He got a tattoo kit. Let's do this, you know? And it's like, oh my God, God bless those guys for giving me their skin. You know what I'm saying? Letting me practice.
What would you tell an artist today that's pursuing tattooing as a job or a career that is struggling to get an apprenticeship? What would you give them?
Would you tell them to do the same thing that you did?
No. I would direct nobody to do that. And to be honest with you, I knew better. Like, I was told not to do that also, but now I know why. Because I lived through it now, you know. And if I got to do it again, I absolutely would have taken the time to. You really have to just hang around in a shop. Like, go get tattooed there, you know. Go get tattooed there. Talk with the dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to kind of like ease your way in. They have to like you, and that takes time. Because it gotta be around your house for 8 hours a day or however 10 hours a day, you know. So, yeah, I would have went that route. I would have just taken my time more, I think, you know. But
so how did that Ronnie turn into today's Ronnie? What was the in between part of all that? Because you consider yourself a pretty good artist now, right? Pretty successful artist. Like you're on the right track.
Yeah, Yeah.
What does the journey look like?
Yeah,
I would say that.
Was it struggle the whole way through?
Oh my gosh!
Did you have some, some bright spots?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so about 2 years I was tattooing on my house, right, and doing all the dope stuff, Brandon, all the, you know what I mean, all the stuff you shouldn't be doing. Tattooing the designs, like learning the hard way. Why did this ink fall out? Why does it sending me pictures? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't this stick? Why didn't that? And I'm learning like different, like my hand pressure. I'm learning like the needle depth. I'm like, I'm just learning, you know what I'm saying? Which is wild. So yeah, 2 years, right? I knew I had to get my portfolio to a certain point if I was ever going to get into a shop. And they were just going to have to hire me because I was good enough to get in the shop, not because I needed an apprenticeship. Because that ship had sailed at that point. Like in my mind, I was already too far. I was already almost close enough to get into a shop, like my quality of art and the tattoos that I was putting out. So, boom, I went over to Ink Sanity over in Lake Elsinore, and I had gotten tattooed there before when I was younger, and so I went over there. The guys were cool to me back then, so I figured they'd be cool now, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So I went over there and go talk to them, and they were like, let's see your portfolio. So I handed it to them, and they start flipping through it, and I can see them. I can see their faces, and the guy goes, not bad, He's like, I can see the talent, like I can see it's there, and they didn't give me much though. I'll tell you that. Like they weren't mean to me, but they didn't tell me a whole lot. So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of waiting for an answer, and then they're like, "All right, man, we'll get back to you." You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple other artists that came in, so we're gonna go through you guys and figure out which one we think's best. And boom, on Tuesday I get the call. Dog. Yeah. On Tuesday they were like, "Hey, man, we'd love to have you over at the shop. Bring your stuff over on this day, and yeah, let's roll." And bro, I was jumping up and down, dude. I was so pumped. Like, my tunnel vision, bro, of my dream of like what I had been envisioning in my head, like just came true.
Right.
Like,
if I all came together.
I'm in a professional tattoo shop now. Like, I made it through the whole apprenticeship, the whole thought of like maybe I'll never be able to get in there, maybe I'll never have a path in. Like, boom, it was there. And not only that, the dude who looked at my portfolio, I found out real quick once I got there that he's got one of the dopest styles in the world, like even to this day. His dude's name is Matt Driscoll. I think it's his handle is like Raptor Laser on IG, and dude was super cool, man. He let me sit with them. Like, I was so mesmerized by a dude and his style that I didn't even want to tattoo yet. I was like, "Hey, can I just come sit in your booth?" And he's like, "Bro, yes, please come sit in my booth. Like, I'd love to show you some stuff, He was like, "I'm leaving in like 6 months." He's like, "So we're trying to hire, like other artists to like come in here and keep the place going and busy and that, And so he's like, I'll share everything I know. Any question you have, bro, like I'll answer it." And I was like, "Woo!" I've already been geeking, right, for like 2 years on this, and now I get somebody at this high level, dude, that I've never even back then at 12 years ago, dude. It was still like a new kind of a new style. You know what I'm saying? And so it was mesmerizing to watch, dude. Like, you'd have to see the art to like understand what I'm saying.
What kind of style is it,
dude? It's like a new school style. Okay. He calls it real school.
Okay.
So it's realism mixed with new school.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So they use all these crazy cool tricks, and like textures and like highlights and like the way he lays it out, and it's everything. And he freehanded everything, bro. This dude had a box of Sharpies, and every client would come in. Bro, he didn't even know. I would hear this fool go, "All right, so what do you want?" And they'd be like, "Oh, I want a zombie on my forearm, this and that." You'd be like, "All right, man, go ahead and have a seat." He'd shave the arm, get his markers out. This fool would freehand damn near every design, and it was the dopest. It wasn't even like kind of cool. Like, dude would knock it out the park. And then not only that, he would come back and tattoo this thing like crispy clean, colors super saturated, super high contrast and depth, and like super animated, you know, like characters. What was in this dude's head like blew my mind. So I got to sit with this dude and just watch and ask questions, you know. And dude, like I started jumping up levels within that 6 months of being with that dude, to the point to where in the shop, like I was probably one of the best dudes in the shop, or equal to.
Just from learning from him.
Just from learning from him, just from that 6 months of being with him. But the drive that I had is what fueled that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when I got there, I already had that fire lit under my ass. And so, yeah, it was already a passion of mine. That was just like a gift from God to me.
And you get like, so the shop owner taking a chance on you.
Yeah, man.
And then him kind of bringing you under.
Yeah.
That was like two gifts. Boom, boom.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was cool, man. Like he went to a lot of different tattoo conventions, and people were starting to get to know who he was and this and that. And anyways, I started guest spotting and doing some stuff. And I went over to like Corey Miller's shop, 6 feet under over there in Upland. And I go in there and I got my little portfolio, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna start hitting some of these spots. You know, maybe I could tattoo and meet some of these guys and like kind of move around. And I got to meet Corey, bro. He was in the back doing a tattoo, doing this big old back piece. Mm-hmm. I was like, I feel like I was hallucinating, dude. Like, what a fanboy. You know what I mean? I see him and I'm like, no, wait, I watched him on LA Ink. Yeah, this is surreal, you know what I mean? And he's doing a big old black and gray back piece, like the style that he does and everything. And he like waves me back in. He just waves me on in. Hey, come on in, you know? And he's like, hey, can I see your portfolio? Like, can you flip through it while I'm tattooing this guy? And I'm like already blown away. Like, yeah, of course, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, I get to sit there and kick it with him. But yeah, like around that time is really when stuff started like taking off for me, because I got to introduce to different people, different styles. I started meeting people in the industry. You know, we went back to a convention in New York, and we got to meet at the time. Remember when Ink Master came out, Brandon?
I do.
Okay, so like the first 3 seasons I remember. After that, it's all a blur, right? It was like 50 seasons or something. I don't know no one's name no more, but. Season 3, man, we flew back there and we went to Westchester tattoo convention, man, and I got to meet like a handful of them, you know, and the shop I was with, dude, like he knew him, so he took us all out to dinner afterwards, you know, after the convention. We got to sit and talk, and like, yeah, I just really started meeting people, you know, at that point. But yeah, it started to take off once I got into that first shop, like you were asking me, like how did I get from my house to here? Yeah, like that's what I was doing, you know what I mean? Like that's how it happened. Like I said, it's 12 years ago now. So yeah, I mean,
I know
no breaks.
You fight as well. You're a Muay Thai fighter. Is that something that you do to kind of for work? Is that for a hobby? What are you doing? What are you doing with the fight world?
Yeah, so
you gonna take a fight?
So yeah, so I train Muay Thai, right? Like I wouldn't call myself a fighter. You know, I'm more of a lover. But I like the you know, yeah. So the reason I do it for me initially was I really appreciated the art style. We're artists, right, Brandon? So it's like when you watch a fighter and you watch a martial arts style that is art. Dude, it just captured me, you know, just watching these dudes and their technique and how it flowed together, and I was just like, man, this is tight. And I was thinking also health wise, right? Like at the time, being a tattoo artist, you can get real used to doing nothing, right? Yeah. Like sitting in your chair, getting scoliosis or I don't know what, you know.
That's me right now. So I'm packing it on right now. I'll tell you, I'm trying. I've been eating.
You happy, bro? Yeah. You're happy. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I do it, to blow off steam, you know. And like I said, it started because of physical health. I had to find something that was exciting to me and was I have to trick myself. I don't know how you guys are, but like you tell me to go in the gym and like, hey, we're gonna go lift weights, or hey, we're gonna go run. it just doesn't get it. Don't do it for me.
Yeah.
It's not me. So I was like, I know myself, so I need to find something that will get me in the gym, right? So so when I found Muay Thai and that art style, you know, I was like, I'll do this. People do it just to stay in shape, right? So that's really, I would say, why I got going in it, you know? And then it just took on a whole deep meaning for me after that. Once you get beat up, right? You're sweating, you're with your boys, you know, they're sweating, they're getting hit, they're getting beat up. I started like discovering something about myself that I didn't know. Like I had never really, I played sports, you know, I was in high school, like football and stuff like that, but combat sports, it's different, you know, when you're like purposely trying to inflict pain on somebody and learn a new skill and a new martial arts. And but anyways, yeah, it took on a whole nother meaning for me. Like I had no idea that I had fight in me to the extent that it's in me. I feel like everyone kind of knows, you can kind of guess, but you don't really know until you have been to your limit mentally and physically. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden it hits a new depth, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then the guys you're training with, you're seeing the real them. Like you're learning more about them in those moments than like we could just talk about. We don't gotta talk, but we train together and we're brothers, bro. Right. It happens real easy, you know what I'm saying? You get close with people. And it was transforming me inside too. It was like making me a monster inside in a good way. Yeah. Like it was making me, I was more confident in myself. I was, I walked a little more sure-footed, I guess you could say, you know? And I don't know where I lost it along the line, but I feel like in life, dude, like you do need to reintroduce yourself to like that fight or flight mode. You know what I'm saying? Like that is something we don't get to experience a lot. And nowadays we're so safe, you know, in our like climate control cars and our AC units, you know what I mean? It's illegal to fight, you know what I'm saying? You go to jail, like, no, we don't do that in our society. There's not a lot of struggle in that sense. So when you go putting yourself there purposely, it's crazy the strength that comes from it and how it transforms you is mind-blowing to me.
Well, starting to unlock things, it sounds like.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then all the stuff that used to piss me off, man, when people in shape people would come tell me like, hey man, you know, it's a lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like and I'd be like, man, shut up, bro. Like it's easy for you. I'm the chubby kid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like to eat, you know? Like don't judge me. I just felt like they were so far from me. You know what I mean? And now like all of a sudden like I'm there. Yeah. You know, all of a sudden like I'm in shape, all of a sudden I'm healthy, and all of a sudden I'm making, you know, comments that probably piss people off here and there, you know,
You're
about
the
it.
lifestyle guy now.
But it's a true thing, man. Like the positivity, like that comes from working out and your muscles repairing, like your body being broken down and going through the healing process. You know, it's like you're getting like shots of dopamine the whole time you're healing, the whole time you're building up. And I didn't realize how much that affected my mood. You know, like all of a sudden I was happier.
Without the training and stuff, what's your mood like? Are you grumpy or?
Dude, I would be honest with you. I would say like less energetic.
Okay.
And like I would say less positive. Like you hear a lot more pessimism from me, man. Like if I'm not doing good, like if I'm not healthy, if I'm not like
you kind of always got to look like, man, I don't know, like he don't believe you. Ronnie always looks at you like he don't believe you. Yeah, real shit. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll put a picture up. Y'all be the judges. He kind of be looking like, like, I don't know if I can trust that shit sometimes.
Hey, man,
that's not a diss. That's not a diss.
No. You know what's funny, bro? I thought, man, this is I sound conceited for making this comparison, but I don't mean to make this comparison. But bro, one time I was listening to Elon Musk, right, and they asked him a question. This fool would look and take so many seconds to process the question before he opens his mouth, And I thought something was wrong with the dude, but it's Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with the
Very
boy.
calculated. Yeah,
Right,
thought process,
right.
Yeah.
And I noticed, bro, the deeper I get, I'm a deep human now, right? Like my conversation, the more I notice, like me being slower to speak, bro.
Yeah.
I hear you, but like I gotta process before it comes out my mouth. Because if I just say it, it's sometimes it don't come out.
Man, I don't give a fuck if you Elon Musk or not. if you pausing,
Gotta be quick.
yeah, bro, we're not gonna talk long. We're not gonna talk long, even if it's Elon. I'm like, all right, yeah, he's cool, though, but that
something wrong
motherfucker, he
with
talks slow. Like, you don't hurry the fuck up. You feel me?
You're also, I was kind of interested in, you're also involved.
I hate that shit. Hold on, let me keep going. I hate that shit. When you get to talk, somebody gets to telling you a story and they just. Yeah, and then and it's like, man, if you don't tell the story already, you told me you was gonna tell the story, and you just over here dancing around the shit, you know? Like, I hate.
You know
that
why,
shit.
bro? Because that attention span's like this. So as soon as I'm talking to you, it's like get to that point, bro, or my mind and my eyes are drifting.
Yeah.
Bro, I did that with this. I
need cliff
did
notes.
it the other day.
I need cliff notes, so I ain't trying to hear the whole motherfucking story. Unless you could tell a story like an old head. If you can't tell me a story like an old head, you know?
Yeah, describe everything.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta be a good storyteller.
100%.
Yeah, that's an art.
And that's not towards you as far as hurry the fuck up.
I feel you.
But like that's towards everybody.
Yeah.
Shit. It is towards you too. That's towards everybody. You know, you doing good today.
Bro,
as far as your
what's
face.
funny? Bro, I do that shit to myself.
Yeah.
You ever thought that you've been talking, you know, maybe you smoked or something, like maybe you drank something, you sitting there and it's like, you're like, damn, bro, I haven't even got to my own point yet.
Yeah.
I'm still talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine what everyone else feels, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what, intelligent people do, just to try and give shitty answers. You feel me? Just shoot from the hip, man. Be natural. You know, I'm over here pausing. Let me give you a response. You feel me? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, you know exactly what's going on. You pay people to know what the fuck is going on. And you acting like you don't know what's going on. Specifically Elon Musk. Which, shout out to him, though. I don't got no problem with him. You know? Yeah, so let's keep going. Let's
Shoot from the hip, bro. Go for it.
Let's talk about what?
His volunteering?
Yeah, the youth ministry and the volunteers.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So he runs Glory Hole out of Elsinore. No, just kidding. He's volunteering.
Oh man, Brandon opened it, and 10 years ago with the tattoo shop.
Yeah, he took my place.
It's called B-Man Glory Hole.
He's standing in for me now. I'm done.
Oh man. Oh,
but
my
let's
goodness.
what a segue.
Yeah, what a segue,
he
bro.
does services and all types of services. He's a big humanitarian. Let's get serious for a minute. A horrible segue. That's my fault, but it's cool.
Hey, shooting from the hip, dog.
Shooting from the hip.
Hey, that's amazing.
Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was having crying over here.
It's a super important thing that he's doing out there. He's helping out the youth all over the place, and he's choosing to do so. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about the things that you're involved in.
Yeah, man. So I started volunteering, maybe like 6 years ago now, 7 years ago. It's been a minute now. I started volunteering just locally, like whether it was at like a food bank or like local churches or really anywhere that just needed help, like free help. You know what I'm saying? And I got into it and I would just do simple stuff. You know what I mean? Like little setup stuff, this and that. But I was doing it because I thought I was going to help them. You know what I'm saying? And then shortly into it, maybe like a month in, I start finding out. I'm like, I want to go. Mm-hmm. I'm waking up and I'm like, man, I want to go there. I want to be there. And it was a trip, man. Like how it really takes my selfishness away, my self-centered. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about me. It's normal, right? It's like it's human nature to just be so self-absorbed, you know. And so volunteering like just taught me it did something for me. It let me not be selfish for the day. Like I figured if I did that once a week, the rest of the days is for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that works. But yeah, I forgot what you asked me. But yeah,
We were talking about the services that you're doing out there to help out, and one of the ones that I'm specifically talking about is the youth ministry.
Yeah. Okay. So after I was volunteering at this church over in Corona, it's called South Hills. I started getting to know people, and then the pastors there would come up and ask me like, hey, would you come by? Maybe like maybe work with like the young males, like the high school boys, the college kids. They got nights for everything too, And I was like, yeah, sure, And I'd go there, and he'd be like, hey man, I'd have like a table of kids, right? And he'd be like, hey, can you lead a table? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, okay, lead what? He's like, go sit at the table, and here's the focus question we're gonna give, and then you just go around the table and kind of facilitate it, let the kids talk, let them get stuff off their chest, this and that. And when I sat there, dude, I found out like real quick that they listened to me. And I think a lot of it has to do is because of how I look, you know what I'm saying? Like just the fact that I don't look like someone that came from church or was born in there. They would ask questions, like stuff resonated with them, like they'd want to hang out, they want to, you know what I'm saying, they want to be friends and stuff, and the pastors would be like, man, they really respond to you well, like, would you mind keep coming back? And like I thought the kids were cool, so I was like, yeah man, I'll keep coming back, And same thing, bro, like I started seeing their lives change, having like a positive role model in their life. Because one thing I found out being with them is like a lot of them, dad's not there, mom's not there. There's something going on at home, isolating themselves from the family, type of stuff, running away, just getting into stuff, what I'm saying, getting off to a rocky start, in life. And you could just tell, man, with you being consistent there changes everything for them. Like they see you there every week, man, and it's like, all of a sudden, their mood, their attitude changes toward you. You gotta, man, with kids and young people, you gotta earn their respect. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be consistent or they ain't gonna respect you. Like they're not gonna receive what you say very well.
That's right.
Well, so I got a question. Like, that's dope that you do that, and shout out to the church that he's working at. What was it, the church again?
Oh, it's called South Hills. It's in Corona.
I find it interesting that life has its way of choosing your job for you. Based off of what you've gone through, right?
Yeah.
And the opportunities it gives you. What opportunities have you gone through that make you qualified for a position to mentor, to teach?
Dude, that's what's wild, bro. Like, they're like, life qualifies you. And what's the trip, dude, is like, even like recent, like reports and feedback I've gotten from people, like therapists and counselors, they're quickly finding out that people that have life experience are much more effective on the clients, on the patients. I don't know what you call them, what the word is, but a college degree, like it doesn't resonate with when you're talking real life. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I think it's like the most potent thing is to be life qualified. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what changes lives, man, is that you walk the walk and you went through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember, listening to people, drug counselors or something like that. If the drug counselor got his degree or her degree, but has never been a drug addict, and they're sitting there with me, you know what I'm saying? One, I know that right away. You don't even got to tell me that you have not been where I've been. I can see it. And just the way you talk, the way you hold yourself. And then we're kind of done. You know what I'm saying? The conversation doesn't really go from there. There's no need. They don't know.
That's good.
So I think that's why, like, leadership in places, if they see that in you, you do gotta be around. They gotta know you really well to even put you in a spot like that and in charge of anybody or anything, So it definitely took like a few years of me being around them like consistently in order for me to get like offered this stuff,
Sound like a tattoo shop.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just like that, exactly.
And that's interesting. You make that comparison. It immediately makes me think of this. There's a visual. I'm going to paint a picture for you guys. There's, you're going through a divorce and you get two therapists. One therapist is fresh out of college, has never been married, 21 years old, and you have another therapist who's been married 2 to 3 times and divorced at this point at 50 years old. Who do you want to take information from?
Yeah.
Does life experience, how does life experience equate to a college experience? That's a very interesting comparison.
Yeah, definitely.
I did construction a lot, what I mean? And one of the things that construction workers complained about was when somebody would come out of college and take the job with little hand-on experience. And I agree with them and disagree with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's good in both. You're absolutely right. Like, a college degree, like there's things you know and learn that I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. Is that stuff helpful to know? Probably sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes probably not. Might be useless, But you're right. There's like there's a little give and take there. It's just what's most effective, I guess.
Right.
What do people respond to the most?
And I think that slows people down too. Because they don't have a college degree, they feel like they can't help.
I know. That's messed up.
And that is messed up because intent is what is the special thing that is going on there. It's the intent to want to change somebody's life or be involved in a way to help somebody out. Most people know how to do that without a motherfucking degree. You know what I'm saying? Like that, We're definitely not trying to give information or talk people off of bridges or anything like that here as well. We're just trying to be insightful and, trigger something in your day-to-day hustle and bustle. And I guess you can compare that to ministry a little bit too, right? Because they come in one day a week and then they hear you speak and, you're trying to leave an imprint on them, per se. Yeah, you hope it relieves like a little weight off their shoulders for the week, man. You hope it feels like a little medicine to them, Mm-hmm.
just something good for people, like a place to go that they didn't have to go, and now they got people that they could kick it with, just like. But you're absolutely right, man. It's so similar. A tattooing in ministry, like I know it doesn't sound like it is, but the atmosphere and the way it is very much like that, because it's very much like counseling or therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just kicking with people is therapy, man. Like-minded people being around each other, it's therapy, bro. Like when me and you kicking, we have a good day, bro. When you go home, like feel good.
You feel good.
You know what I mean? You're like, man, it was a good day. I had fun. I laughed a lot, man, and we talked about some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's therapy in itself, man.
You know what I think one of the best teachers in life is adversity.
I agree.
It's not that somebody who hasn't gone through anything can't teach me, but for some reason, every time I receive information from somebody that is like core, they're going through some shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, man, like what is it about adversity that, is channeling all of these profound thoughts, these quotes that we speak of, it's
art,
through the turmoil, the drama.
Art's produced when
exactly.
People are just going through it, man. Like
exactly. When I got into tattooing, my dad was like, "Yo, why is everything so negative in tattooing? Why is everything so negative? Why is the imagery so negative?"
That's a good question.
And
it was. Yeah.
I tried to draw in a positive direction for him. But that shit is hard.
It is.
That shit is hard to draw positive. Like it's something
with
about
tattoos.
capturing drama that taps into a different emotion, I believe, or maybe it's a heavier emotion just naturally. So humans attach to it better, and it's more graphic, or maybe it's imprinting. I don't know, but
the medium of it, maybe the pain, maybe that plays into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But since we're on art, do you do religious art as well? What kind of arts do you tend to focus on when you approach a piece? And how is your religious convictions taken when you're in a tattoo studio? That's very taboo in our world. It's not taboo in the aspect of like we tar and feather motherfuckers. It's not like that, but it is. it is close. You know what I mean? If you show religious belief heavily in a tattoo shop, you're seen as a fucking nerd or some shit like that.
Man.
Motherfuckers don't like you. You're damn near a piercer or some shit. You know what I mean? So.
Any piercers listening right now, dog? Now you know how we feel.
We always talking shit to the piercer, man. It ain't gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like light-skinned brothers get no respect. You feel me? Yeah. Same shit. You feel me? We love both of y'all. Yeah. We love both of y'all. You feel me? We love both of y'all. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like my beliefs do feel they kind of bleed into my art. Definitely, I notice. Because, bro, it becomes like a part of you, you know? And so is art. So they're like naturally gonna bleed together, you know? And it's deep. Like religious art, like I guess you could call it that, like it's somewhat deep, you know? I think like when people see it, like you said, it hits like a certain tone with them. It hits a certain like nerve, you know, depending on the scene. But yeah, it definitely like bleeds into to the art world for me, you know, because it's like I said, it's a part of me. But yeah, it's all mixed in, bro. Like tattoo art, you know, religious art, just random ideas, you know, lettering, graffiti, all that stuff. Like I love it all, and so to me, like I mix it all together. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it infiltrates that part of my life. But yeah, more now than before, for sure. I didn't used to draw. I started off drawing dark stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, back in the, we used to draw a lot of like, that's just how the industry was, you know? It's just more evolved now. So I think more images are like allowed and look good, you know? And before it wasn't. It was like skulls and like, you know, roses and...
It's funny like, too. We talk about religions, and I'm gonna cut you off. Religion and tattooing, right?
Oh yeah, that was the second question.
It's taboo to be religious in a shop, but I don't know not one shop that doesn't have a Jesus piece up.
That's a good point. I never thought of that.
Or a cross, or some type of devil,
something. Yeah, something.
Angel.
Something.
So
spiritual.
what is it that causes motherfuckers to hate on a motherfucker who's super religious? I mean, first off, some of y'all religious motherfuckers be coming off a little cheesy and corny sometimes. You feel me? Like, and like the dockers and the penny loafers gotta stop. You feel me? Even if you're a missionary, y'all can switch up the fit and give them a different uniform.
You don't like the suit,
Amen,
you don't like suit and tie look?
Amen.
You know, corporate suit and tie look. Like I'm into the Baptist look. You feel me? My black ladies with the hats and shit like that, coming clean. Yeah. If you gonna come clean, like. But where you lose me, if you got some Dockers on with some pleated pants and some penny loafers on, and you about to come up to me and talk about, hey Brandon, I got a message for you. I'm like, no, you don't. I got a message for you too. Yeah. Once you're done, I'm gonna tell you something too. Change your pants. G, like, you know, what is it like? And there's an overtone. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
The tattoo world does not accept beliefs in God. Like you're right, you know. Like I know it might sound confusing, but like I don't consider myself religious. For me, it's a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it does. I know what you mean. So like the look of it. So when I go into a shop or when I'm in a tattoo convention or something like that, the dopest thing about it, bro, is I'm just me, and this whole belief in God is just here with me. So it's real subtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you kind of figuring it out. You're figuring me out a little bit. But it's real subtle. So, and that's the dopest thing, dude. It's like, and what I believe, like, Jesus, the way he was with people was very non-abrasive. He'd kick it with you. I think when people are religion, they get it all backwards when they try to tell you something. They try to tell you what you need to, how you should, where you going if you don't, right? But the way that it's modeled, like, to me properly, just like me and you sitting here kicking it right now, man. You know what I'm saying? It just eases in over time, you know? The more we kick it, the more you find out about my beliefs, and the more they might not sound so religious to you anymore, you know? They might not sound so wild, you know? You might be like, oh, I see where you're getting that from, you know? Stuff starts making sense. So it's, for me, it is abrasive, and I don't throw it in people's face for that reason. So if I'm around tattooers, especially, dude, when I'm in shops, man, it's like, I know that. I've gotten in talks with dudes with, you know when everyone's not tattooing and we're all out front, everyone's smoking or something, we're all in a circle kicking hacky sack or something. I've gotten in those conversations about that, you know what I'm saying? Like, in those places. And people respect you when you stand on your shit, dog. So I don't care what they think. And they know I'm about it. So I don't really trip no more about it, you know what I'm saying? So, but, like I said, I'm not offensive about it either, you know. So I don't expect no crazy coming my way because I don't give it. You know what I'm saying? But you're right though. Like, it depends how you carry yourself in that. But just off the bat, it's not accepted because of how it's perceived. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, appearance is part of the delivery.
Yeah, dog.
Appearance is part of the appearance is part of the delivery. You know.
Yeah, but you're right, man. Like,
I enjoy.
You don't want to get into conversations in the tattoo shop either too much. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you say you got like 6 dudes, right? And boom, you get into a conversation like that. It can go off the rails like real quick.
Oh, you're going rabbit hole real fast.
Yeah, it's offensive, bro.
Yeah, it's a certain type of way.
Yeah,
you have to feel a positive or negative, and that's the fucked up thing about like religion. Is just like, oh, you don't do that, you are this. You're immediately telling somebody they are in a negative light because they're not following the prophecy of whatever it is that they believe in. Yeah, and so I understand the opinions upon that shit. Just like politics is like, okay, you don't believe in what it is that I believe, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what I see too is a lot of us that are in the same age group right here, we don't practice it like we were raised to practice it. So we already have our guard up. Like, oh, we might have believed something. We might even believe the same thing we did when we grew up. We don't believe it the same way. We don't practice it the same way anymore. So it's almost like a guilty feeling. That's what I'm seeing too. So guys got that chip on their shoulder. So they're already ready to jump down.
Yeah, they got answers. I got something to say, man. Yeah, and you know, like that's a huge mistake, bro, of the church. Like that's our fault. Yeah, that absolutely, the way that it's represented is 100%. When you said, dude, you got an imperfect human being telling you, another imperfect human being, what you're doing wrong and what you should be doing, when you know damn well that there's stuff in their closet. They got skeletons in that closet and they know it too, but they're sitting here telling you. The hypocrisy of it is disgusting, bro. And it's seriously something that the church is misrepresented, and I feel like we need to take responsibility for that, for putting almost the opposite out there, bro, than what this really is. And I hope that's what people see when they're around me a lot, is that it's not what you thought it was. It's not what you remember. It's not what you were taught all the way. You got little bits and pieces of it, just enough to get yourself into some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know just enough about it to question it. And they're good questions, bro. I had all these questions, right? The deepest questions, you know, is God real? Is he there? All of that stuff. I had to like sift through all that. In these years, that's what's been happening, is me just looking for the truth on deeper levels. Every year, I'm always like sifting the bullshit out. And bro, I tell people, if this stuff wasn't real, I'd be the first dude to be on here telling all you guys, hey man, don't be following this shit, dog. I looked in it. You know what I'm saying? I want good for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lead you down a bad path, and I wouldn't go down it either if it was that, you know? But yeah, it's something that's proven itself to me, and it's changed me. And what blew my mind was when I would read scripture, is the scripture would tell me how it's going to change me, and it would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would morph into what the scriptures was saying. And I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, I get these light bulb moments that would just go off in my head, you know? And then the pastor's making sense. You know what I'm saying? I heard growing up so many pastors just not making sense. right? Just yelling out verses and not explaining them and getting all riled up and everybody yelling and stuff. And I'm like, wait, what did we learn though? What was it about?
Yeah, what's the message here?
Yeah, but now, like, there's so many good pastors and like theologians out there that they just, when I listen to some of these messages, especially with my pastor, dude, I remember saying to myself, when I sit down in this church service, I'm volunteering here anyway. I might as well go listen and see what the man's got to say on the pulpit. And I remember telling myself, man, as soon as I hear some bullshit, as soon as I hear some nonsense come out this dude's mouth, I just won't go in there anymore. I'll keep helping the church, but I just won't go listen. Bro, every Sunday.
Hasn't happened yet.
Every Sunday, bro. 7 years later, dog. No joke,
That's
man.
good.
I haven't heard no BS come off that pulpit, dude, and yeah, I have to acknowledge truth, man. I can't lie to myself. Once I hear truth, I have to like acknowledge it. I have to pursue it, I can't be like, oh man, yeah, this stuff's cheesy, so I'm just not gonna listen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, man, I want it. I want the smoke, even if it's like an answer I don't want to hear, as long as it's the truth, But yeah.
Any other questions?
No. Man, yeah, I could ask questions all day.
You ready for Ryan?
Yeah, let's round it
I
up.
would like to. His quote is pretty darn good.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, would you like to? So for our roundup, our guest Ronnie brought us a quote. Go ahead and tell it first, Ronnie.
As pray for peace and prepare for war. I feel like our conversation was that. To be honest with you, I mean, Muay Thai, physical training, spiritual training, spiritual push-ups, right? Both of those things for men. I'm sure for women too, but speaking from my stance, men, we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. I do the most good. You put the most good out there, right? You got your best intent, but you know the world. You know it's cold. You know it's harsh. So you prepare for war, hoping that it doesn't come.
Mm-hmm.
But you're ready. You know what I'm saying? That's how I keep it. I keep it in the background. I keep it ready. And I put my best foot forward, and I just think that I don't even know where I saw that saying. I think it was on the back of a T-shirt. But yeah, man, it resonates,
Because I was gonna let you know too. That's a big military.
Oh, is
phrase
it?
Too.
Oh, okay.
As soon as he said it, as soon as I read it through his little bio that we had him fill out. The Latin version is Si vis pacem parabellum, and that's the Latin version is everywhere in the military, along with the English version.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, like that made me even more curious as to what you were gonna bring to the table.
Yeah, man. It's cool, man. It's a part of me. But yeah, that describes it well.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I stay ready.
Yeah.
You guys
Get ready.
If you don't
Hey,
know,
bro, you're
you
a sucker
know.
if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I stay ready at all times. Mentally, not necessarily physically all the time. I got to work on that. Like I said, I've been eating and shit. But, the mind, we got to keep it sharp. Thank you for coming in today, man. I really appreciate your interview. And
Absolutely.
Ronnie rents and tattoos here all the time. He guest
I be
spots at
kicking
the
it.
studio all the time. B-Main Studios, if you guys want a tattoo from Ronnie, or if you're seeking some youth ministry, or check him out at the church in South Hills.
Yeah, man.
He likes to do black and gray. He likes neo-traditional style.
Yeah.
He does lettering. He's commissioning for paintings and all kind of other artwork outside of tattooing as well.
Yeah.
Everybody that I bring to you guys is a resource in case you're struggling with mental health. He's also a personal trainer and teaches Muay Thai as well. So if you guys are interested in tapping in that, please check him out. Ronnie, go ahead and drop your Instagram.
Yeah, it's Ronnie B Tattoos.
Ronnie B Tattoos. So check him out on Instagram, guys.
Any last minute shout outs from your end?
Yeah, actually, so at South Hills, I just got asked to start a recovery ministry. So anybody suffering from any sort of I mean, man, we talk about addictions from, it ain't even just drugs and alcohol, dog. It's like beyond that, you know what I'm saying? Like the money spent, like your focuses, you know, spending money addictions, video games, you know, wasting your life away on all kinds of, that's Americans, that's what we do. We're addicted to something, whether they, so this ministry, dude, is going to be focused on that. Like, I think people are going to lose their minds when this election gets, I don't want to open this right now, but when this election gets close, bro, like, I just have a feeling, you know, people are going to fall off, like moms, dads, bro, that are normally there, fall back into addiction because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. I don't know, but I just know someone's going to lose their shit. That's all I know. So it's like, I try to think ahead in times and like, what are people going to need? How can we help, you know? And this recovery ministry, bro, I think it's going to be huge. But yeah, it's out South Hills. We'll be launching it in June. So
who should they contact for that? The South Hills, or would they be all right send you a DM if they're interested? Yeah, absolutely. You can message me, or you can go to South Hills. They got their Instagram and Facebook page. But yeah, you can come right to me too. I'm running it, so
sweet.
We appreciate you, Ronnie.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
enjoy.
Dude, good.
All right, cool, man.
Have a great day.
Thanks, man.